Hello everybody, I am Blue Noise ZZ, and once again, I'm here again with more Street Fighter V news. And recently over at Capcom, Peter Combo Fiend Rosa has just given us some more information of what to be expecting towards Street Fighter V. Recently, Event Hubs just had a small interview with him asking about how people should play Street Fighter V, how to have their mindset towards the game, and what to be expecting and what to not be expecting towards Street Fighter V. And Peter Fiend Rosa gave out some really good information regarding the game. He pretty much said that people have to commit to attacks. There won't really be any option selects that'll be coming up from Street Fighter 4. If anything, he just wants people to learn how to get better at the game, preferably just Street Fighter 5. And if anything, he just wants people to learn how to commit to attacks and to believe in their attacks. And what he means by that, for example, in Street Fighter V, he wants people just to literally, if you throw out a DP and if it hits, congratulations, you committed and it paid off. And then vice versa, if you did a DP and it misses, well, prepare to take damage and prepare to get at risk of getting punished. Now, and vice versa also as well, in a game such as Street Fighter 4, where if you do a DP, you can FADC it. And what that means is that you're not really committing to that DP. You're just using the FADC to get yourself out of a risky situation, which is really prevalent within Street Fighter 4. If anything in Street Fighter 4, just about everything could be FADC out of a situation except for Ultras and Supers. But 9 times out of 10, if you're caught in a sticky situation, 9 times out of 10, you're going to FADC out of something. For example, a lot of good characters like Shotos, for example, where they do a DP, they have enough meter, which is usually about 2 bars, which is about pretty much always 50% of super meter, of course. If you're in a crazy situation, you can simply just FADC out of it as long as it was actually able to be done so. But in a game such as Street Fighter V, you really can't do that anymore. FADCs are completely taken out, and you have to learn to commit to attacks, which is really good. Games like Street Fighter Alpha 2, which you have to learn to commit to attacks, for example, which is a really good example of a game where you have to learn to commit and take risks. And it's really good because, for example, if you do custom combo and your opponent jumps over it, you're going to get at risk of taking a lot of damage because once you activate custom combo in Street Fighter Alpha 2, you can't really move your character. You can only move forward and you can only attack. And of course, this gives your opponent to really, have a taste of, getting their revenge against you, or they can just punish you at that moment. And of course, if you throw out a super, for example, a level 3, a level 2, even a level 1 super in Street Fighter Alpha 2, and if your opponent jumps over it, they can punish you. If you throw out a DP, you're going to get punished. There's no combat mechanic, there's no mechanic in Street Fighter Alpha 2 that really can save you from taking a lot of damage and whatnot. And which is also good because in Street Fighter 5, the damage scaling is pretty low, which means that you're going to be taking a lot of damage in Street Fighter 5, which means that a lot of attacks are going to be doing a high amount of damage, including combos and whatnot. So this game is teaching people how to really be more offensive and being more engaged into the game, just like how Combo Fiend said. He wants people to be engaged into Street Fighter 5. He wants people to really keep their mind into the game and not just crouch tech all day, which is also another thing that's also been removed. Crouch teching has been completely removed, as well as a lot of option selects that were also prevalent in Street Fighter 4. So pretty much you can't, for example, a good crouch teching, for example, would be you press kick and if you do the kick and the throw tech or option select. So instead of if you throw a throw and you do the kick, but you don't get a kick anymore, which means that in this game, throws have priorities, so you'll get a throw. If you crouch and you do a throw, you get a throw, and you throw out the throw, you try to press the kick button won't really come out, you'll just specifically get a throw. So really there's no actual option selects in Street Fighter V, other than what we'll probably be finding out and finding about later exploits in the game, which is really well known in the current generation of where Street Fighter is heading. But maybe Street Fighter V won't really have that. We don't know much yet still. Street Fighter V is heading in the right direction where it needs to go. And if anything, this is getting me pretty excited because now people can't really play Street Fighter the way that they used to do, like how they do in Street Fighter 4. And if anything, this is really good because when Street Fighter 3 dropped, the game was pretty good, and a lot of people had to change their mindset of how they play Street Fighter because they were so used to Street Fighter Alpha and Street Fighter 2. But when Street Fighter 3 dropped, people had to change their mindset of how Street Fighter is played. And it'll be the exact same thing when Street Fighter 5 drops. Now, if anything, you really can't really mash jabs anymore in this game, which is really good because now people actually have to do combos, people have to commit to attacks. You have to use your character's resources properly in this game, and that's what I can see so far. Because a good example was Daigo at the E3 2015 tournament where he was in there and he was trying to mash out the jabs, and he was getting pretty much damaged for it because you really can't play Street Fighter 5 like Street Fighter 4. And that's a good example of why you have to change your mindset towards Street Fighter 5 because Daigo was still so used to Street Fighter 4. And because of that issue, he got bodied pretty hard at the E3 event. So this is another good thing that I'm actually excited for, is that people have to change their mindset about how to look at Street Fighter. And exactly the last thing I also realized is that Combo Fiend also said that he also wants to make the bridge of the gap that's between really good pro players and really talented and skilled players, and bring them closer to people who are not so really good at the game. I kind of agree and disagree to this because if anything, if you learn the character, if you're really good, because if you learn the character, you can actually get really good at learning how to play the game. Learning the character, learning the roster is what people should learn how to do. And if anything, if people actually take time to sit there in training mode and learn how the character works, you can actually learn how to play the game and actually at its fullest extent. And of course, you'll be able to learn how to fight against opponents and learning matchup knowledge and counter picking and whatnot. You have all these things in the game. It's just that people have to take time to actually learn and practice the game. And at the same time, it's also good on the other end because people who are having a hard time actually playing the game or just Street Fighter in general can now actually kind of stand up towards pro players. And at the same time, pro players also have to think their way of how they play the game too, because now the people with different levels of skills will also be playing this game. So this is also good on both ends, and at the same time, I kind of feel like, people just have to learn how to train. But if anything, I'm actually pretty excited about the direction of where Street Fighter is heading, or just Street Fighter 5 is heading. So what do you guys think? Do you think this is good that a lot of these options that were Street Fighter 4 and all these other techs and abilities that were taken out, do you really think that this is really good for Street Fighter 5? Do you guys think the direction of where Street Fighter 5 is heading, is it good? Is it positive? And if anything, who do you want to see make it their way back into Street Fighter 5? Or if anything, what are you guys expecting yourselves to be in Street Fighter 5? So leave a comment, like, and subscribe. Until next time, I'm Blue Noise ZZ, signing off.